And greetings, fellow Unity users. This is Phoenix Talon back with another video for the Easy Mover Editor tutorial series. We are up to part 3 right now. So anybody who's coming to this part should have a window that looks something like that and a script that looks something like this. If you do not have either one of those two things, then you're in the wrong video. Please catch up. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump right back into this because I'm sure a whole bunch of you want to go ahead and throw all kinds of nifty things into your little window here. So let's go back into the script and we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, we're going to build something called a user interface, right? So just like any other GUI item in Unity, you have to turn it on. And the way we do that is function on GUI. All right? I think everybody's familiar with that function. Pretty much everything in our window is going to go right in here. Okay? I'm going to leave a little space here because we're going to throw in some other functions later. Leave some space up here because we're going to put variables up there. So it's okay if things look a little disorganized right now. Believe me, they will get more organized later. Now let's go ahead and make that label that changes when you select a different object. So we're going to go ahead and start with that. And the way we do that is something called a GUI label. And the way we make this is we start by calling the GUI class. We go ahead and look for the label. Oh, it automatically wants to do it for me, but then it doesn't. Okay, and now if you ever look this up in the scripting reference, it's going to ask for a rectangle. See, I just have to have that pulled up for you. All right, it's going to ask you for a rectangle, and it's going to look something like this. Now, yes, we're not building something in the game world, but we are building a rectangle nonetheless. And believe it or not, it all actually works out. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so let's go ahead and build our little rectangle. So we're going to open some parentheses for you. And then rect. And then what it looks for inside here are dimensions. All right. So let's give it some. We'll say 3, just to kind of offset it a little bit. This is going to look for how far down you want to make it. So let's just make it at 20. The next one is going to look for how wide do you want to make it. So let's go ahead and, I don't know, let's just try 100. And then, actually these spaces don't really matter. And then how tall do you want to make it as far as, you know, the height of your field or whatever your label is going to be. You know what, never mind. Let's make that 200, and then this one we'll just make 30. Okay? All right, so now that you make your rectangle, the next thing it's going to want from you right after this parenthesis is it wants to know what are you calling this? All right, so you're going to need a string. And in this, we're going to call it selected object. Then go ahead and give yourself a little space. And anytime you string together like a string and another variable, you need a plus sign. Now, we don't know what is going to go here yet, but we know it's going to be our selected object, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to call this selected object name. Now, we've just put a variable here, and we haven't defined this variable. That's why it said no matches. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take that. We'll go back up here, and we still got to be inside our class when we do this. We'll do variable. We'll just go ahead and put that variable back in there. That's going to be our name, right? Selected object name. Let's see here. Some tabs, colon, and that is going to be a string. Okay, it's going to be something that goes in quotes. And then, uh-oh, why did you lowercase that? There we go. All right, and we're going to make that equal to because we don't have anything selected right now, right? So we're going to call it select a what, game object? Yeah. All right. And throw our semicolon after that. And let's see if it showed up for us. So we'll save that out, go back to Unity, and ta-da! Uh-oh, it's too short. That's why it's all cut off. And that was kind of what I was trying to get at, is you may not know what your width is right away, and I know some of you have watched other videos where they tell you, hey, you know, oh, you should put variables in here so that you can increase and decrease your width easily. Well, that's true to a point, and we will be substituting a lot of these with variables. But in an editor script, it's pretty much where you're going to put it is where it's going to be. There is no changing these values in an inspector. It's an editor script. There is no inspector. All right, unless you program one, and then that's up to you. So let's go ahead and make that a little bigger. We'll jump that up to 300 and just try it out. This is part of it, is just seeing what things do. And there you go. So there's a little more room. So it gives you an idea of our how you're going to put in most of this information. Now, if you notice, it does say select a game object. Now, that's the variable that will change once we have an object's name. But even if we create an object right now, let's just create a cube. All right, so we've got a cube. Well, we've selected that cube, right? But it didn't change anything because we didn't make it change. We didn't tell it to change anything. All right, so that's what we need to do. So we'll go back in here and we'll start getting this to change for us. All right, and the way we do that is we need to make a way of recognizing that the object has been selected. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to throw that in right underneath it. All right. Actually, no, we're not going to throw it right there because we're running out of time on this video, and we will get to that on the next one. Thank you for watching. See you next video.